Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're here, thank you for joining us. Joining me? Thank you. Um, I wanted to get on here and do the part 2 to the anxiety video. Um, and I want to finish doing I don't know if it's going to be a part 3, it might be. But I just want to finish doing the video properly so we can discuss it. If you have any questions or anything like that, or you even have issues that you're going through, go ahead and leave a comment. I read my comments. So also like, subscribe, share, whatever you choose to do. But welcome. This is a place of love, peace, and harmony. Okay, so don't mind my eyes. This eye right here, I have strabismus, so it travels. But it matches. I mean, like I said, Rose Strangea can get strange. But you'll see me putting on and off my glasses because I'm in the middle of doing something on my computer also. So let's just skip to the story. Now with where did I leave off? I got to the hospital. Okay, so I got to the hospital and then sorry, these lashes got a mind of their own. I got to the hospital. And when I got to the hospital that night, and the doctor told me that I had, it looks like I had anxiety. So I was like, okay, cool. It might be something to solve it. I know people that have anxiety, maybe it's something that can be solved. But, when people say, oh, I have anxiety, I never understood the how far it goes into it, because they don't touch into it. And I understand why now, but I think that it's healthy to touch into it because when you're hiding and you're behind and stuff like that, it can't be fixed. My personal opinion, again, So he said, okay, we're going to give you some Ativan and a Benadryl. Now I'm like, okay. So he gave it to me and I'm like, okay, I'm calm, all right. So they kept me there. They do observation to make sure that you handle the medication good, whatever like that. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm calm. But then I started feeling like kind of outside of my body, I want to say, where I'm in my body, but like, I feel kind of cloudy and like it's like I can see my hand, but I'm grabbing stuff to make sure I can fully feel it. You know what I'm saying? So now I understand when they say that they're under the effects of Ativan or Xanax and stuff like that. And to each his own. For some people, that medication works wonders, and it's all that they've been waiting for. For me, no. And I'm going to tell you why. At that moment, it worked. So they kept me for a few hours, and then they gave me a prescription to go get the Ativan. Now, honestly, all honesty, I'm going to tell you the truth. I didn't go turn it in right away because I was very groggy. So I came home and I just went to sleep. Now, upon me going to sleep, I got up and I just felt bad again. But then I saw that it was my pressure. My pressure was a little high along with me with the heart rate. So I get there and they said, oh, well, did you go get the Ativan? I'm like, I said, no, I didn't get it yet because, I was very sleepy when I got up there. They understood. So they gave me an Ativan while I was there. It worked. So I was like, okay, well, maybe it's the Ativan. Let me just take the Ativan. I go to the pharmacy. I get the Ativan. They're over here. But while I was there, the doctor that saw me, he said, well, let's try this anxiety medication. Because I told him that the Ativan makes me a little groggy. So he gave me another medication, which was hydroxyzine, right? And I remember taking this when I was in high school. They gave it to me. My parents were going through like a brief separation, and it was taking its toll on me more than I thought because I realized that I'm not a person that really pays attention to what's stressing me out. And we're going to talk about that too. Long story short, so I went and I put the pills in. So I got the one for the hydroxyzine. I said, let me try the hydroxyzine because I don't want to be under the influence of the Ativan. There's things that I have to do. I have to get up and move around and things like that. So I got both of them. And I have them here. One of them fell on the floor. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't get it up. So they gave me these, right? And they gave me a low dosage until I was able to go see the doctor. Cool. Now, what I realized is that the hydroxyzone doesn't make you drowsy per se, but that's like if you're having like a lighter effect of anxiety, you know. Um, so I came home. The next day I stayed home, I was fine. You know, I took the Ativan in the morning. I said I'm gonna try I had the hydroxyzine tomorrow because I already have Ativan all in my system. Um, so I took it. But the next day, you know, I check it with my blood pressure cuff and things like that, you know. And I'm like, okay, well, what's going on? I realized that my heart rate is going up. Sorry, I was looking at something. I realized that my heart rate was going up. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's just, you know, it was riding because the day before, even though I took the Ativan, my heart rate was still riding at around 120, 115. You know, I'm like, okay, maybe that's what's going on until my body regulates. I said, let me go take a shower. I went and I took a shower and heart rate shot sky up in the shower. Then when I get out the shower, I take my blood pressure. My blood pressure on the machine says 170 over 100. What? And I feel like, you know, I could barely, like, I feel very groggy, cloudy, I want to say, very cloudy, like, you know. So I called my godmom. I said, listen, I need you to drive my car and I need you to take me to another hospital, right? Because I'm like, this hospital told me this thing, but let's go to another hospital. So I go to the other hospital. I get there. My pressure is high. My heart rate is high. So I'm talking to the doctor. I explained to her about me having, you know, going to the other hospitals, and you know, they said I had a panic attack and things like that. And she was like, okay, but she looked at how high my actual pressure was, you know. So she gave me something for my pressure, and then she gave me a low dosage of Xanax. That calmed me down. And then she asked me, why did the doctor prescribe me Ativan? Because normally for anxiety, Xanax works better than Ativan, right? And then she came back and she told me, she said, she said, I understand you might have had a panic attack. She said, but I think the panic attack probably struck something else. She was like, I think you might have SVT. And SVT can bring on anxiety attacks, right? She said, yeah, she said your stressor, you hit your stressor, you tapped in on your stress, you know. And I told her what had been happening, that I had took on another job and I was taking care of more difficult type of patients. But it wasn't just the patients, it's dealing with the family members. And if you're family members and you got healthcare workers that come into your house and they're actually nice, don't be so hard on those people. Like, appreciate that they have their own problems and they're still coming in there and being kind and still taking care of your family members because they want to. They want to be a nurturing person. Anyway, okay? So you deal with that, and then you deal with what your coworkers don't do on a day shift. You have to deal with it overnight. You have to realize that, you know, we all are going into work. We all have our own problems. Like, let's not make it hard on our next coworkers. Like, let's do better with that as a people, right? But all that was going on. And I told her I had just normally took it on, and I was like, it was a lot more than I expected. And I see now that it's weighing down on me. She was like, okay. She said, but I think it's SVT. She said, I want you to go see a cardiologist. I said, okay, I'll get the cardiologist, you know. So she sent me home, but she sent me home with Xanax. Now, all these pills that they're prescribing, I mean, they're prescribing pills. Obviously, they can tell that I'm not addicted to pills. They're trying to see which one works for me. But I would have rather her sent me home with something for my blood pressure or my heart rate rather than another anxiety pill. Because at this point, I'm telling you, I already have 2 prescriptions. And she was like, but I know some people don't know how to take the blood pressure pill with the anxiety pill because it can lower your blood pressure, and that's bad work. So most doctors won't send you home with that. And I understand it. You get me? But I'm trying to solve an issue here because I have things I have to do. So she gave me that. I set an appointment with the cardiologist. Now, the thing was, it was so difficult to get an appointment with the cardiologist because you'll be surprised at how packed these cardiologists are because of this common thing with people, what people have going on, and they're not realizing things. So I was like, okay, now this is the kicker. I set the appointment for the cardiologist that Friday. Do you know that I had to go back to the hospital that Wednesday night? And then the doctor gave me metoprolol after I told him what happened. Because after I left the other hospital when she gave me the Xanax, I didn't go get the Xanax because I didn't need it. I put myself in my own triage. So I was in my bed, NPO, nothing by mouth, eating nothing by mouth, just drinking teas and laying in the bed, herbal teas, because I drink a lot of herbal teas from my body to clean out, to make sure I'm clear. I took herbal teas and nothing by mouth, just so I can pinpoint exactly what was sending me back to the hospital because I knew it was no longer anxiety. Anxiety is what got me here. It took the Band-Aid off my problem, you know? And I was like, it's coming from my heart, and I'm feeling, you can feel where my body's just, like where it's just like it's shooting off from. And it can make you feel like you're going on an anxiety attack, and it's really not that. So I was like, okay, let's find another solution, Rose. So I went back to the hospital, and when I spoke to the doctor, he gave me metoprolol. Now, with metoprolol, it is a blood pressure pill. It's a beta blocker. But they give it to a lot of elderly people because it slows down the heart rate. But with me not knowing that with the heart rate thing, my my pressure my pressure didn't need to be low for me to take the pill. So basically, I didn't take the pill that next morning because my pressure was 122 over 73. And I was like, oh, that's normal. I don't want to take this pill and I bottom out my blood pressure. And then I got another problem. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to come back with part 3 because it gets crazier from here. So thank you guys for tuning in. Love, peace, and harmony. Peace. And I'm probably going to record part 3 right after this video.